Before we begin, I want to name what this is and what this isn't. These choice point episodes aren't lessons, they aren't meditations, and they aren't asking you to get anything right. You don't need to imagine perfectly, you don't need to respond differently, you don't need to reach a conclusion. This is simply an invitation to step into a moment that you've lived before and to slow it down enough to notice what happens inside you. You're not here to fix the response. You're here to recognize it. If you're somewhere it feels safe to do so, you can let your attention soften. And if you're not, that's okay. Nothing about this requires closing your eyes. Just listen and notice what shows up. In this choice point, we're stepping into a moment where you're asked for something before your body is ready. Let the scene unfold. Let your body respond in whatever way it does. That's enough. You're with other people. It may be casual, it may be social, it might be a group, a meeting, a conversation that felt fine a second ago. And then suddenly, attention turns towards you, a question you didn't expect, a request made in front of others, an invitation to respond now. There's no warning. For a split second, your mind goes blank, not empty, but full, too full. Your body reacts before you can organize language. Your heart rate jumps. Your palms feel warm or damp. Your breath gets shallow. Your face feels hot. Your voice feels unsteady or completely unavailable. You're still standing there, still listening, but something inside you has stalled. And in that stall, urgency rushes in. Say something, anything. Don't make this weird. Words come out quickly or awkwardly or not at all. Maybe you laugh it off. Maybe you agree to something you didn't mean to. Maybe you blurt out something you immediately wish you could take back. On the outside, the moment passes, conversation moves on. Other people don't seem to notice much, but inside, your system is still buzzing. Later, you replay it. Why couldn't I think? Why did I say that? Why does this keep happening? You tell yourself you should have handled it better. You tell yourself you looked stupid. You tell yourself you should be past this by now. But what actually happened is simpler. Your nervous system got overwhelmed faster than your mind could catch up. That isn't failure, that's physiology. This is what autopilot looks like when the body freezes first. Stay here for a moment, not to judge it and not to improve it, just to recognize the experience. Now, let's rewind. Not to change what happened, but to return to the moment after. Same situation, same question, same spike in your body. This time, you don't expect yourself to recover instantly. You notice the aftermath, the shaking hands, the tight chest, the sense of being exposed. And instead of attacking yourself for it, you stay present. Maybe you take one fuller breath, not to calm down, just to stay here. And if you speak, you don't perform clarity, you orient. Maybe you say something simple, That caught me off guard. Or give me a second. Or I'm here just thinking. No explanation, no apology, no story about why you're like this. Just enough language to buy your body time. And something subtle shifts. Not perfectly, not dramatically, but you don't disappear. Your system gets the message. I'm allowed to be here while this settles. You may still feel embarrassed. You may still feel shaky, but you're no longer at war with yourself. Later, when you think back on the moment, there's less sting. Not because you handled it flawlessly, but because you didn't abandon yourself afterward. This is the other choice point. Not before the reaction, after it. The moment where you decide whether the response defines you or simply informs you. You don't need to freeze less. You don't need to perform better. You need to know that even when your system reacts first, you can stay still. There's one more layer here that matters because moments like this don't just affect you, they ripple outward. When you pause instead of panic, when you name discomfort instead of overriding it, when you stay present instead of disappearing, something shifts not only inside of you, but in the space around you. Other people feel it, even if nothing is said out loud. Nervous systems are always reading each other. Tone, pace, breath, presence. So when one person regulates in a moment of pressure, it subtly gives everyone else permission to soften too. And the opposite is also true. We've all been in rooms where someone freezes, stumbles, or struggles, and we feel that reflex rise up, a quick judgment, a distant thought, a quiet relief that it isn't us. I'm glad that's not me. That reaction doesn't make you unkind. It usually means your nervous system is protecting you from how close that moment actually is. Because it could be you, it has been you. And when we catch that reflex and choose patience instead, something important happens. We interrupt a pattern that keeps people isolated in their reaction. We stop reinforcing the idea that struggle should be hidden, managed, or performed away. Modeling never loses its power. Not when you're a parent, not when you're a leader, not when you're a coworker, not when you're just another human in the room. Every time you respond with steadiness instead of judgment, you're teaching someone without saying a word. That discomfort doesn't equal failure. That pauses are allowed. That being human doesn't disqualify you from belonging. And in a world that's loud, overwhelming, and constantly destabilizing, these moments matter more than we realize. Because nothing meaningful changes through outrage, pressure, or control. Change happens when people feel safe enough to stay present with themselves, with each other. So when you practice this, even imperfectly, you're not just working on your nervous system. You're helping create a culture where people don't have to disappear in order to survive. Culture where presence is valued more than performance, where regulation becomes contagious, where empathy becomes embodied, not theoretical. That's the ripple. Quiet, unseen, but powerful. And it starts exactly where you are, in the moments you used to rush past. Before you move on, pause here for just a moment. Notice your body right now, not what it means, not what you think about it, just the sensations. If you've ever been put on the spot and felt your system hijack the moment, you are not broken. You are very human. And if you've ever wished you could go back and redo what you said or didn't say, that doesn't mean you failed. It means your nervous system did its job before your words were ready. Change doesn't start by nailing these moments perfectly. It starts by recognizing them without shame. The more familiar this experience becomes, the less power it has over you. Not because it stopped happening, but because you stopped disappearing inside it. You don't need to master this. You just need to know that pause exists, sometimes before, sometimes after. And that's enough to begin living differently inside the moment. When you're ready, take a breath and return to your day. You don't need to carry anything with you. You already know what this feels like now.